9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
Happy Monday, y'all. Happy Monday. Welcome to Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. My name is TK Trinidad. I don't know, like, have I always been getting this like weird glare from my glasses? I don't know. Anyways, my name is TK Trinidad. Welcome to the WWT Live, the Monday edition. So much to talk about. But first, let me know in the chat where y'all are hailing from, what city, what state, all that good stuff, because if you are on YouTube, the super chats are open. So what does that mean? For $1, $2 or more, we're gonna say your comments. For a while, maybe the whole show, maybe half a show, will be solo dolo. So you can feel free to ask me any questions that you might want to ask me. Will I answer them? That's a whole nother thing. But maybe for the right amount. We'll see. But there's a lot of things happening. There's a lot of things that are happening, including we have our Raw preview. And then also, too, if you are in TikTok universe, happy welcome. We're going to try to do this more often. But first off, we're going to start with the Raw preview. So if anything, it's the first Raw after Survivor Series, War Games, and everybody wants answers. Like, who was the guy in the masked outfit? So we've heard some things in, the wrestling universe, but I'm sure we might find out tonight. We'll see. So Dirty Dom, he came back from Raw, still the reigning Intercontinental Champion with the surprise of Liv Morgan. We saw all of that. So we're going to see what's going to happen with that. And that swerve that Liv did with John Cena, chef's kiss. So then we have the tournament to determine John Cena's final opponent for the semifinals. So Gunther takes on Solo Sikoa. And LA Knight is versus Jey Uso. So that's happening tonight as well. There's tag team gold. AJ Styles and Jagan Lee defend the world tag team titles against the New Day, who's chasing their 14th championship, which I think it might be time for them to get it, but we'll see how that all plays out. Plus, we're going to hear from Stephanie McClure and Becky Lynch, who says that she was just waving. She didn't really tap out. So that all goes down in Arizona, 8 p.m. tonight on Netflix. And, speaking of Netflix and all that good stuff, what does this mean? If you all are watching, and, it's a little secret, but actually it's not my secret because Stephanie McMahon did mention it. If you guys are watching or wanting to watch, these bills are getting a little bit too much, go and get yourself a NordVPN. And I say that because we got a discount. So go yourself, NordVPN. They have a Black Friday sale happening right now, 75% off. Just type in the tag WWT and you get that discount. So I sent you. It is what it is. But let's get into everything that's happening for Monday. So let's get into Nikki. So Nikki, she came off that loss. And it's been a minute, and we talked about this on, if you guys are wanting, is like what happened to Survivor Series. We had to watch along a post show that happened in Survivor Series, and she's coming off this loss, and she hasn't been winning a lot lately. However, I mean, she's a veteran, and I'm sure there's more to it as to why she came back, but I don't want to say it doesn't make sense in her winning. But it's just kind of one of those things where she's the veteran, so she doesn't really need a title per se in this stage of the game. So definitely kind of gonna talk about that. But I mean, I know I lied to y'all and said I'm solo dolo, but I guess not. He's packing his bags. However, he's making his way uptown to WWT land. It's Christina himself is in the building. What's good?
My name is Christina. I am a Latino woman eating empanadas right now, formerly known as your counselor.
Formerly known as Christina counselor. What up, Eric in the chat, Bosa in the chat, Hassan, what up, y'all? Happy Cyber Monday. Oh yeah. Also, this is definitely a plug for myself. If you are in Cyber Monday and you don't want to support big business, when you want to support small business, you can support my business, centering skincare and candles. You want yourself some massage candles, all that stuff. You want to possibly make some, another bun in the oven, or put a bun in the oven, or just pretend or play to play buns in the oven. Massage candle is the way to go. Lots of sense. You can check that out.
Fuck that. If
20% off.
you a dude watching this, get your ashy ass some of this body butter, right? Grow the fuck up. Stop using lotion. It don't work. All right. You still be ashy. You just be wet. You just got wet skin. That's it. Get you some of this body butter that TK be making. Let me tell you something. If I was out here in these streets dropping rope, I'm telling you, 1 cent. 1 cent. I can't tell you how many women was like, damn, you smell good. You smell good. That's your icebreaker into getting ass. All right, fellas. Get you some body butter, put it all over yourself, and make sure get behind the ears, get behind the neck right there. So when they hug you, that's what they smelling. All right. And the good thing about it for my heavyweight brothers, when you start, to perspire and stuff like that, you smell like the body butter because it done sunk into the skin. So you don't be having that smell like you outside. It's just amplified with it. And it don't just cover up funk like Febreze and stuff. It does what it needs to. I promise y'all, I'm not just saying this because TK is my friend, because I'm on here. I got skin like a crocodile. So to find something that actually works, that I don't have to and get that shit in like Jergens, believe me when I tell you, man, it feel like putting whipped cream on your skin. It's not heavy. It's not thick. You don't feel oily when you leave out. It is perfection, man. Look at these. You see these elbows? Do you see any ash on them? When I got to do the rocks, see them goosebumps? That's body butter goosebumps right there. Get you some body butter. Cyber Mondays. It's on sale. Stop being an anti-motiony bitch.
Well, then people on TikTok is like, why is she so quiet? Well, we'll just cut a promo on my body butter. So you can check that out on YouTube or stay on TikTok and just watch me smile. But somebody who's definitely not ashy is Nikki Bella. So she's just coming off that loss. She said that she's it's not her last time we're seeing her. We actually talked about this on the post show. What was that? Saturday? Was that Saturday? We talked about the post show on Saturday. Hey, Lewis. Where do you see her? Where do you see Nikki in 2026?
Let me think about it. The sky's the limit for Nikki. I think the only thing she gonna really run into that's gonna be a problem is really the IWC. I listened to a lot of stuff people were saying after her match, and I really don't agree with it. And you can take it for someone who's not a Nikki fan because he didn't really get to watch her and stuff like that. But I've heard them talk a lot about how, she wasn't good in the match. They didn't have no chemistry. It wasn't great. I'm like, that's a fucking lie. I was like, this was a good match. I was like, it was missing the storyline passion of it, but they had good chemistry. And because I remember one thing somebody was particularly trying to harp on was like the devil's kiss that she got when she was in the ring. She wasn't on her knees when it happened.
Right.
Stuff. And they were just like, she always messing up and botching moves. I was like, no, if you think about it, she's just doing good storytelling. She just took a devil's kiss on the announcement table. Look how they had to get her up to throw her in the ring. She's playing it like she's out of there. I was like, so don't do that. So I was like, I think that's the only thing she got to worry about in 2026. For everything else, sky's the limit. Nikki Bella can go do an NXT run and put over so many people there. She could take a TNA route if she'd like to and do stuff over there. I definitely see her doing an IC title run against Maxine. And then if stars align right with the right storyline, Nikki Bella could hold that world title. I just think there's like the sky's the limit for her when it come with there. She's in a good spot to be able to help the women's division, but then also not just help it, be a part of making history within it too. Which again, like we talked about with AJ Lee, I don't think a lot of them got to have a lot of those defining moments in such a division that's dope now. I just think it's going to be I think 2026 is going to be a good year for her. And based off of her schedule too. If her schedule is more of her WWE, she got a lot that she could do.
Yeah, definitely agree. And speaking of a lot that she's going to do, she's also going to be in a movie called The Gift Exchange. They're dropping the previews in a couple of days. So she stays booked and busy. And I think I had mentioned this too on Saturday, how I was listening to their book when I was getting my facial, and the difference between Nikki and Brie, as far as Nikki was kind of destined for this kind of stardom type things, always on the grind. You know, so congratulations definitely to her, which I wonder the fact that she dropped this today after she had the PLE. I wonder, is it like we're not going to see her until next year? Like this part is done. Now she's going to come back next year, because she's kind of, I feel like, and Bosa, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, you too will, if you know. I feel like she's like kind of on that Legends deal where, you know, if she has deals somewhere else, then she can go and come, all that stuff.
I don't know if she has a Legends deal. I don't know exactly what their contract is work with Nikki Bella right now, but she's already in a good position to where she can do that. I don't think Nikki Bella is needed on a week-to-week basis, and not in a bad way. Like, I think you do have a lot to do to where you can go be that, and the next time we don't really see you is until January as we get leading towards the Royal Rumble.
Right.
And I think just having her included in the women's Royal Rumble and being in this heel kind of Nikki now is going to be like, hey, I don't care what y'all do. Screw y'all. I'm going to win the Royal Rumble. I'm going to go and I'm going to headline a WrestleMania.
Right. Yeah, I agree, Bosa. It really just depends. It really it doesn't, I don't think she's done necessarily with Stephanie. It's almost like she can, even if she's gone for a little bit, she can go and come back and kind of, if Stephanie doesn't have anything, and I hope to God she has something going, but if she doesn't have anything, she can go and come back and you know, talk that up a bit. So there's that. Speaking of talk that up, I want to discuss this a little bit. I'm kind of glad you're on to talk this, Will. Becky is saying that she didn't tap out. She was, you know, waving at her teammate. Yo, I don't know. I don't know if she is, and this is not like a diss, but I don't know if she is just this funny or she comes up with this, comes up with like her sarcasm and the humor on her own, because it's very, I find it like, it's very dry, but like that's like UK, like I find it absolutely hilarious. Say, no, I didn't tap out. That wasn't me. I was just waving. Like, wait, what?
Yeah, no, that's her. I've met Becky Lynch. That's her. Like when I say like she has the funny bone embedded in her. Like she really is truly hilarious. Like it's everything you see. Like that's one of those, like when you look at Becky Lynch, like we know that's not her real name, but you be like, yo, that's really her. That's really Rebecca. When you see it out there, that is truly who she is. She is hilarious. She's sarcastic, but she's extremely intelligent and knows how to play towards the crowd. Yeah. And I'm loving every single part. Like I love when Becky is heel Becky. Like it is always just hilarious. And again, she knows what she needs to do. Like she's that perfect blend of like a Chelsea Green and a Beth Phoenix, what she need to be. Yeah. And it's like, and she knows what her part is. And that's one thing I do love about Becky is that she knows how to play her part. When it's her time to do something, she does it. And she's utilizing different things. And just like the fact of doing it on Twitter, doing it on Instagram, being a troll, kind of like how we've seen Drew McIntyre, but also including Jessica Carr, who does wrestle. So it's like, yo, like you're putting over people on layers on top of layers. So I always find it so funny when they go like, oh, she's just being a Becky Hogan. And I'm like, if y'all really know the stuff Becky does behind the scenes to be able to put over the women's division, you would never call her that. But that also lets me know how well she does this to have y'all looking at.
Yeah. I think we also have to, I think there's Becky and there's other people. We also have to take in mind that Becky did take acting lessons. And I think when you actually go and take acting lessons, it puts you in a different headspace. It's kind of like hosting, right? Like you have actors who say that they can host. However, if you don't get the basics, then you're just going to look like an actor trying to host. There's certain nuances that somebody who is a host can tell, like, oh, okay, somebody put their hip to the game. And with Becky, it seems like because she is, pursuing an acting career, there's certain elements that have changed from when she first started to now. And I think this is like where she's getting the payoff. Chelsea Green's another one who took acting lessons as well. So you could see like it almost by taking those lessons, it almost kind of sets you up. Like you're always kind of thinking of the acting part of it.
Yeah. But that's the thing too of like, I think if you're going to be a wrestler, you need to have that understanding. Like we live in a world now where, the kayfabe veil gets thinner and thinner. And so you need to learn some of these things to become that whole superstar. So it's like, yo, if I can be a character, and I know I want to get into acting too, but like being an actor implies that, like, just look at The Miz. Like The Miz is fucking insane when he's in the ring.
Yeah.
Like, like y'all can say what y'all want about his wrestling style, but like, yo, when that man get on that mic, that dude commands a whole room. And there's no denying that. Like you can't sit here and tell me like, yo, Miz don't make some type of emotion out of you, but that's because of like getting these acting chops, being able to go to know, hey, I'm playing the character of The Miz. I'm playing the character of Chelsea Green. I'm playing the character Becky Lynch. And so when I get on here, depending on what interview I'm doing, if you want me to be Chelsea Green, I can be Chelsea Green. If you want me to be Becky, I can be Becky. But now if you're talking to Rebecca about Becky Lynch, you start to see the subtle differences. And it's like, I'm starting to see how those things pay off. And so it's like, those are the things, like, it just comes with the territory of being a wrestler. You are a entertainer, you are a athlete, you are a influencer, you are a host. And you need to do everything you can to be able to make sure that you're a all-around superstar when it comes to that.
Yeah, it's so do you think, as far as wrestling now, because we've talked about the difference between AEW and WWE as far as, people looking for more wrestling to storyline, etc. But do you think that if you are wanting to pursue becoming a wrestler, that acting lessons is necessary in order to take it to the next level?
Yes, I think it is, because it does more than just the promo work. So I even speak for myself. Like I've been acting since I was in the 6th grade. Like I have a background in actual theater, not just doing film, but in actual theater. So it's my theater work that helps me with my ring IQ. So that's what shows me of like how to respond, how to react, and how to sell a bump, how to sell when somebody's doing something, even the little smallest things that may not seem like it's like, oh, okay, that wasn't really the necessarily big spot we want. It's like, but no, we're going to see, like when you throw me into the turnbuckle, if you're way bigger than me, I'm going to hit that turnbuckle, hit my lower back, and but you need to see all of this, because why? My stage is a group of people surrounded by me. And as much as the TV is there, cameras not going to always pick that fully up to convey what that is. So my expressions need to show that. And
Right.
that's what having a background and being able to act and learn these things really kind of come into play. And so the more you do it, like look at a Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler has acting experiences. He's went to do acting. Look how he sells. Same thing with The Rock. The Rock is the same way. Look how he sells moves. Look how he is when he does promos. It's really just, Cena. It's just a way of being able to sharpen yourself when you need to be there. Now, of course, you can't ever deny the athletic side. Like you definitely gonna need that. But we live in a world now where people want to see, like something you said, TK, and I know people may look down on this when they come to here, but within these industries where we thrive on people watching us, you are a product.
Yep.
At the end of the day, you are a product. So if I present you as a product, can I get you over? Like if Bret Hart was here today as a product, I can say, oh yeah, he's a great wrestler. He fit his clothes. We can do something with that. But from an all-around standpoint, can I sell Bret Hart as a full product and a product that's going to make them the amount of money that they're looking for? We 6-7 with it. I take that. I don't know what that means, but we're 50-50 with it. I'd rather do that. Or like how my boy do 7-8. Hey, kids hate that shit. Yo, if you ever got one of your nieces and nephews do 6-7, go 7-8. They gonna get so pissed at you. That shit is hilarious. That shit is so funny.
No, I completely agree with you because it's unfortunate. It's no different than hosting, right? Yeah. And I'm gonna give you some behind the scenes stuff where people are like, wait, like with hosting, there is a time where people could have come out of college with no followers and you would have got a job with NBC.
Yep.
Now, you can almost scrap college. You come out of high school with some followers, and not only just followers, but people who actually will, if you say something, they're actually going to purchase that product. Or if you say something, they're actually going to show up. That is worth its weight in gold than it is, you can almost learn everything else. But in certain instances, if you have those acting class lessons and or you're just a natural and you can build rapport with your audience, that's worth its weight in gold. So that's kind of one of those things now where I'm definitely seeing it in wrestling. And now this kind of really piggybacks off of this story. Carissa Shields said that she did a interview with Stephanie McMahon, and she said Triple H came and saw her and they're interested in her doing, she said that, not my words, her doing WWE. What are your thoughts on this?
Pardon me, still under the weather with these sinuses. If you can find a place for her to do something, yeah, go for it. I think if we've seen anything, as much as we have our critiques with the product as far as WWE is concerned, Triple H has always done a fantastic job of finding ways to implement people from different industries into WWE in some type of story. So whether it be behind the stage, whether it be a special guest or anything, he finds some way to be able to do it and make it work for the time that it's there. So I'd just be interested to see what they would do with her as far as that goes. But and you see what happened. Like, could she be a manager? Could she go to NXT? I think it's just cool though to see them, like folks who are in sports, get a different look outside of just their athletic ability. Because we've definitely been around some athletes that just we'd be like, so hey, how do you feel about being here? Oh, it was good. We dominated. We executed to the plan.
They just here to play the sports.
We were here to play the sports. Basketball is real good. I'm happy to be here. And it's like, okay. Then you see some people that do interviews and you're like, yo, have you just been playing basketball? Like, where you get this dynamic for? Like, you're very camera ready. and stuff. So I think, you know, like we said, we see what Triple H does with her. I think there's a cool spot for her to be in there. And then too, for those that don't know who Clarissa Shields is, that opens her up to a new audience, but that also opens up more of a bridge to the boxing world with WWE, which we've seen Triple H be a huge part in and stuff when it comes to that. You know, we've seen Triple H walk down with Floyd Mayweather for one of his fights. So it's one of those things of just building and strengthening a relationship. And I think WWE has a dope platform to be able to start building those bridges and making them stronger. So
my only, and this is definitely not Triple H's thing, because this was under the Vince era. I think of Ronda, right? And so far, the people that Triple H has brought, like the Jades and etc., he's done right by them. So my only concern is, and Jade was a little bit different, because you know they took their time with her to build her to who she is now. My only concern with Clarissa is that how much bandwidth is she gonna have if this does happen? Is she gonna get it? Because some people, it doesn't take them long to get it. Some people, it takes them longer to get it. Because it's like, yes, you can do wrestling, but now are you going to be Clarissa Shields, who is wrestling in WWE, or are you gonna be Clarissa Shields becoming a wrestler, and now you are a superstar?
Yeah.
Because if you just do wrestling, it's not gonna pan out well.
Yeah, but also too, that is up to her as far as where she wants to go with that and how she approaches it. Because even like you bring up a Ronda, like Ronda has made history in WWE, but also too, we know for Ronda didn't really want to take to the format and formula that was WWE.
It's incorrect.
What do you mean?
Well, so I read before Ronda even got to WWE. So full disclosure, I've been a Ronda Rousey fan. I've been following her career for a long time, and I read all her books. And the thing, according to her, so this is her take on it. WWE might say a little bit different, but when her book came out, I don't see any reports them refuting it. Her thing was she did feel like they put her in way too fast. She does storyline wise. She did feel like, you know, they weren't really giving her a lot of meat for the stories. So it's almost like they were leaving her like out to dry. When she did the evolution with Becky, it wasn't her take on it. So, you know, and of course, hindsight's 2020, because, you know, obviously it's been after the fact, then she wrote the book, etc., etc. But I do feel for somebody who is a perfectionist like she is, how I took her book was she would have preferred it if they, you know, gave her something versus just her pushing her out there. You're a Ronda and you're going to wrestle. So, you know, I think it might have been done differently if Triple H was in charge when Ronda came out. That's just, you know, we'll never, you know, it's an alternate universe thing. So, you know, I hope that, and even if hypothetically he stands by it and would have done it the same way, I hope that they learned from Ronda. And if Clarissa does make that move, which I think it would be a good move to make, because boxing, like, you can only take so many blows to the head. And I feel like if you do it right, now you just extended your career by another 10, 15 years. Yeah. And the less of the wear and tear on the body. And it's not, you know, wrestling is, you're still taking those blows, but it's a little bit different when somebody's out to really, you know.
But that's what I'm confused about. So, but again, too, I know they be clipped, so it'd be kind of taken out of context. But there was one where, like, she went on a rant talking shit about it. Like, I'm not finna play it like this. I'm not finna do it like that. It was this
out of frustration. Yeah.
But also to that point, I'm like, I'm remembering Ronda's thing, and I'm like, yo, you had some pretty good storylines you were throwing in. Like, one of your first ones was with Alexa Bliss. So it's not like
I feel like she was good. There was good storylines. I just felt like, so I met Ronda when she first got signed SmackDown in Los Angeles, and by meeting her for that brief moment, I picked up the fact that she was an introvert.
Okay.
I as well am an introvert, and the thing with introverts is you know, once you kind of figure it out, you have to figure out what the mechanism is for you to like unlock this energy.
Yeah.
And I feel like during her stint there, she never was able to get that fully comfortable in order for you to see her full personality. I felt like every time we saw her, yeah, you put her in good storylines, but there was a reservation there because she was still trying to figure it out. For some people who are extroverts or who have that skill, you can drop them anywhere and they'll be the life of the party. Mm-hmm. That I feel like is not Rhonda. So she was already at a disadvantage, and she needed the time. Like, whether, yes, she's Ronda Rousey, but it might have been good to start her in NXT for her to get comfortable. But you essentially threw her out to the wolves and said, okay, you're Ronda, do wrestling. And, you know, yes, she had, you know, the blessings of Roddy Piper and all this other stuff, but she was just Ronda wearing Roddy Piper's jacket, opposed to, you know what I'm saying? So it was, I feel like they didn't really develop her as a character. And therefore, now you're throwing somebody out. You have all the skills and all this stuff, but character-wise, like it wasn't there. So you could put her as many storylines as you wanted, but it's not going to be. It wasn't there.
I get it, but it is one of those of like, Shawty, you got to get down with it or not. Like, I think that's the thing of too. Like yes, they threw you to the wolves, but also it is a rock and a hard place. Like, yo, you're Ronda freaking Rousey.
Right.
You don't send Ronda to NXT, especially during that time of NXT. It was like, that wouldn't have meshed well with you. Now, did you need more training? I think absolutely. I think too, like, what they could have done a better job was of prepping you mentally for this. And I think, like, I agree with you of that's where y'all dropped the ball on her, because you didn't prepare her for what it's like to go get on a mic, talk, and how a crowd will respond to you. Like, normally, the only time you have to deal with that is after a fight and they're interviewing you. And you don't give a shit because adrenaline's going high. You've won the match. I don't give a fuck what y'all got to say. I'm going to say what I got to say and then walk the fuck out. But to have to open up Monday Night Raw and say these things like, hey, you're going to have to learn the ebbs and flows of when to stop, when they cheer, where to cut when they start booing. So we hear those things. Like, I think those were the things of like, because she was already in the world of sports combat and sports entertainment, they thought like, oh, you'll just pick that up. But it's like, nah, y'all should have kind of gave her some of those cues to go like, hey, this is what it is. But I think the because of the name you have and because of where everything was set off, that was where it was like, okay, you're going to have to pick up some of these pieces, because again, being thrown to the wolves is crazy, but the wolf you got thrown into where you're headlining WrestleMania with two of the best in the business, that's a good that's a good fire to get thrown into.
Yeah, you get thrown into the fire, but then people were shitting on her because she didn't do a good job. Like, people weren't, you couldn't invest in her because her character, you weren't able to see her character. So you get behind people like, because like you could see their personality, and you didn't get Ronda's personality during her stint in WWE.
Well, that was because you didn't make her a heel. That was the problem. Y'all tried to make her the Roddy Piper, like, hey, you know, she's got this approval. She's with the Kurt Angle stuff. I'm like, nah, I remember the baddest bitch on the planet. That's what I remember in UFC. She wasn't going for smiles. She was coming to whoop ass. And I'm like, you did that with Shayna. Why didn't you do that with her? Like, let her come in as a heel and let her know, like, hey, this is what's going to happen. Because I know when she went to LA and they booed her, that destroyed her. I'm like, yo, my hometown don't like me? That's fucking crazy. And I'm like, whoa, did none of y'all prepare her for that?
And I like most Bosa is like definitely a mouthpiece, like Paul Heyman would have been great, where she did almost like, if you were gonna put her out there like that, and if I could pick up just by being with her for a little period of time that she's, you know, an introvert, then, you know, having somebody speak on her behalf, and she is more of a Brock Lesnar, where it's just like, all right, you just run through the locker room and we'll speak for you. That would have been a totally different beast. So, but again, it goes to what we were saying in the very beginning before even we talked about Christian Shields is acting. Some people have it, and it's a very small percentage where you don't need acting lessons. You just got it. And then other people, you need those acting lessons. And the people who don't take the acting lessons and you find yourself in WWE or wrestling and you don't have the personality, it's not gonna click. You're gonna find yourself. I think I venture to guess if you take, let's say, the top 10 women and the top 20 men in wrestling right now and sales ability, I bet you there's a personality. There's some type of character. They're just not just a good wrestler.
But it's also how you shape it though. And I think that's where how you got to come in with it. And it's like, one, I didn't agree with them bringing in Ronda as a face, not because I don't believe she's a good person, but it's like, yo, if you're going to play her as the person Ronda Rousey, there's a big part of a shield being let down and a vulnerability being out, because that's her really speaking. So it's like you said, like, if y'all gonna develop her as a character, develop her as a character. Like, I've met Logan Paul. Logan Paul is a cool dude. You know, he got his asshole ways about him, but like, it's not one of those like where he's a jerk to you when you meet him. Like, Logan Paul's a pretty like cool guy. But even Logan Paul knew I need to be the complete opposite in order to survive this. It's the same thing like with rappers. Like, if you meet Nicki Minaj, not now, but like when I met her, like, oh, Nicki, it's the same thing. She's an introvert. She's a completely different person. Like, when I saw her in the airport. She was dressed all the way down. She hates wearing high heels. She hates wearing tight clothes. Like, that was her. Nicki Minaj is a whole different person she created to be able to handle everything that comes with that business, including the scrutiny of an audience. And it was like, I don't think that they teach them that, which I feel like, yo, like, wrestling should start having classes for this. Like, yo, you're going to go to school for 6 weeks to learn how to be a wrestler outside of just the physical part. We want you to know what it is to cut a promo, the psychology of being a wrestler in today's world, how to be able to promote yourself on social media, how to react when a crowd is doing this to you. What can that do to you? The specifics of, do you want to be yourself? Do you want to be a character? The pros and cons of being a heel to the pros and cons of being a babyface. A lot of these things, it's like y'all expect them to pick these up and work this. It's like, yo, give a class for this. Give them the prep time to be able to go, yo, let me get the mental standpoint down to develop this. Like, even knowing about, like, yo, what your gear is, who goes get your gear. Because a lot of people don't know, like, most wrestlers have to go outside of the company to get their gear made. They have to call up stylists to make their gear for them, which costs them a lot of money to make, because they're not always going to be, they can't be like, especially for the women, it's like, well, I can't wear this 3 weeks in a row. Like, they're not going to let me rock this for 3 fucking weeks. I got to change my stuff up now. And then, especially the PLE is coming. I can't be in the stuff I was in Tuesday. Now I need a whole new getup for this. And stuff, you know, like, it's not the same for the men. Like, you know, fucking CM Punk been wearing the damn same trunks almost fucking
that part.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow,
but it's like,
Chelsea Green's out here paying $1,500 for an outfit.
Exactly. And it's like, but it's like, I feel like those are the things, like, have a class for that. Like, have a course for people to go take that, especially if they want to be a wrestler. It's like, yo, you got the wrestling school. Where's that side? Where's that? Where are these? Like, yo, for 6 weeks, here's the course of what you're going to learn in being a wrestler from a mental standpoint to prepare you to be a full out superstar. So you don't feel like you're at a disadvantage of, well, I got the wrestling technique, but why don't people get behind me? Why are they not liking that? Because that's all you have. So we don't know your character. So you don't know your character or how to set this up or how to get this going. Or what it's like of like, hey, I'm going to show you how to be a heel. I'm going to show you how to be a babyface. on how you respond, how you talk, what you rely on, how you do these things, and what goes down during this media stuff. So like telling them like, hey, these are the things you'll face when you're signed to a major company. You can't do these things. You can't say this. There's certain things where you can show that we don't mind. There's certain things that you cannot do. What a real contract looks like and how to be able to point that out. If I'm going to be signing for 4 years, what am I okay with making $75,000 a year? Not only on that's just that base pay, but I also have to pay for travel for myself. I have to pay for my ring gear. I have to pay for my physical therapy so I can show up each week. It's like, yo, those things
easy.
Yeah, those things need to start being taught. And I think those were the things that they didn't really get Rhonda prepped for. And I think would have been learned even better had you made a character for her rather than just relying on the name Rhonda, like you said.
Yeah. Well, that was a very spirited conversation, and I like it. Speaking of spirited, congratulations are in order to my girl. Oh my goodness. Trinity. She it was her birthday the other day. Oh, I forgot to tell you. I need to remind me. Well, I need to tell you something offline, but it was her birthday the other day. And she also announced that she is having a baby boy. So that means that the bloodline, well, I mean,
they got a baby Bruce.
Yeah, let me take that away. If there was a girl either, the bloodlines continued either way.
Y'all know what we mean, man. Y'all know what she means.
I am very excited. I'm very excited. She said there were some complications, but they're fine. They were supposed to have a baby reveal party. What is it called? It's like a baby.
Oh, gender reveal.
Yes, a gender reveal party, but they canceled it. But you know, congratulations to her for sure. I am like super excited. And I know you hate this, Will. But I am just curious to see how this is all gonna play out when this baby can walk and talk. And I'm sorry, I'm the person who fast forward stuff.
I hope he go into banking. I hope that baby go into banking and don't go wrestle just because he out doing that. I hope he don't follow nothing.
Wow.
I wanted to be an accountant. They had the wrestling boots, a little robe, and a calculator. He crawled to the calculator.
No, absolutely not. This is where you use nepotism. Oh my God. What?
I hope he go into accountant just because y'all saying that. Hope he becomes an accountant and does what he wants.
This is where you use nepotism. But like, do you know who my father and mother is? You better give me a job. Even if I can't wrestle, like, what are we doing?
You could do that in banking. Be like, oh, I see y'all was watching wrestling. Y'all know who my parents are, right? Be like, who? Jimmy and Naomi. You're hired. You can still run that anywhere. They got fans. There's fans in banking for wrestling. Can still use that nepotism.
Somebody that I'm a fan of, and I am so happy has joined us. Who I was gonna say this line, but this doesn't apply to Courtney. PR princess herself, Courtney Rice is she came to the streets, but that's not what it was.
No.
Equal opportunity. Put her out in them streets with us. Yeah,
it's just set in the street.
Nah, Courtney in them streets, just like me and the mayor. Nah, equal opportunity.
Oh my gosh, y'all know the mayor. So let me tell you a story about the mayor. Sorry, Courtney, I'll get back to you 1 second. So I hit up the mayor. I'm like, hey, you gonna be on the show? He's like, oh, you know, Mondays I don't do the show. Sir, I don't know what your schedule is. You just pop up when you pop up. Like, what? You know, Mondays I don't do the show. What are we talking about? Anyways, Courtney,
I didn't know that either.
None of us did. Courtney, thank you for joining. How are you?
I am good. I'm a little exhausted because this gal worked during Black Friday, but we helped out with getting holiday stuff because we wanted to make sure people got their gifts. But I'm here. PSA, I will update everybody on Continental Classic because I just been all over the weekend. So you will get a full update regarding the Continental Classic on Wednesday.
She's in the streets. That's what she's telling y'all. She's in them streets.
Well,
Yeah,
But I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I had a wonderful holiday and happy to talk about War Games, Monday Night Raw. I mean, thoughts on War Games?
oh, girl, we already been.
I know.
Been.
I know.
I
My brain is just like psh.
I have no problem though talking again about the mediocreness that was War Game.
Sorry, my brain is just like, woof. Well, I mean, there were some good parts of War Games, I will say. I was happy to see Liv Morgan back, surprisingly enough.
Everybody was.
The ladies' War Games, they did do it. I will say Stephanie Vacure did put on a solid performance. Nothing against Nikki, but I was very happy Stephanie retained. I will say for the men's one, I was very happy Braun Breaker got the pin. If it wasn't Braun Breaker or Bronson Reed, I don't know what to expect on that because there was just a lot of egos in the men's.
Notice how she skipped the whole match and was like, "What you like about the men's one?" I like Braun got the pin. Nothing else. Nothing. It was 40 minutes of that match, and all she was the end.
Because there was just so much, and I was just like, "What?" And I was trying to like, I'm not gonna yell and be like, "Oh, well, this is bad," but there were some good parts. But then it was like, okay, where are we going with the rest of the men's? Where are we going?
I will ask y'all this because this is something we didn't talk about in the post show, but it has been going around on the internet. And one of the things that has been said is that WWE needs to X out War Games and go back to Survivor Series because they're just not getting it done. Like they was like, this has been the third one in a row where it's just not what it should have been. And they said that they still have not met the potential of any of the NXT War Games that they used to have. And then now with Blood and Guts now also having War Games, they was like, they should get rid of it. I want to know y'all thoughts. Should they hang up War Games, move it back to NXT, and go back to Survivor Series, or do we keep going? And if so, what needs to change? See, I come with the deep questions.
See, I mean, I feel like who was talking about it, or was I reading it somewhere? I think Blood and Guts did a better job. However, I think War Games is definitely giving people. Well, it's only 4 matches though. I think War Games, and particularly for the women, it's giving more light to the women. However, I think it just has to do with the stories, and this is what we talked about too, as well. Will it just depends on the people who are writing it? It's like, yeah, you could do away with it, but there could be somebody who can really write a great story. Like I remember, gosh, it was before the pandemic. Was it 2018? When was it SmackDown invaded Raw or vice versa?
Yeah.
Like that had you really invested. This time around, it was just like both for the men and women. It's like, okay, you could see it. It's fine, but like really implementing it throughout the weeks where you can repeat because every storyline is a repeat of something else. So I think it really just depends on the writing of it. And if you don't have time to give it the full attention because you have so many PLEs and you have so many shows going, then maybe take a break, take a pause. Like that's fine. It's perfectly fine to set something down and then come back to it a couple of years later.
I would kind of agree on that because it's kind of more on a creative process, because for the men's one and even like the women leading up to the storyline was kind of a bit out of place in a way, because people were kind of confused with the women's Blood and Guts with AEW. And it's like, if you've been following like week to week, there is a lot of crossover with some of the ladies that did participate in Blood and Guts. It wasn't just Mercedes and Chris Statlander. They were all in friction with almost everybody in that division. So it actually did make a lot of sense. It's just with like even the men and the women, it's just like some of the storylines didn't click. And also it's Survivor Series. And I kind of wish they did put in the Survivor Series traditional match they had on Friday onto the show, because that actually did make a lot of sense. And that kind of goes back to what Survivor Series is. And with the fact, because next year you're hitting the 40th anniversary of Survivor Series. So that's also another thing too to really think about. Like you're celebrating 40 years and you really kind of have to amp it up a bit and kind of go back to why we think of Survivor Series as one of the big four of the pay-per-views.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like this last War Games, it was like this would have been so much better if they were Survivor Series matches. Like, had this not been that and it was just a traditional Survivor Series match, these would have probably turned out way better than what we got. Because it was just like, again, it was just like you said, TK, and what we talked about. There's no story behind it. And even to the ebbs and flows of the match didn't portray that. Like, where is my Asuka and Io beef? Where was their spot? Why we didn't get like a whole fight between them? Even with Lash, who does Lash go after now?
Mm-hmm.
Who's Lash's new beef? It was nothing. They didn't show any of that. We didn't even see Nia Jax really run through people like that. It was just like, it was a lot of like, I feel like we got to get this put together and then let's do it. And then for Triple H to say this was the best PLE out the year, I'm like, yo, bro, I don't know what you smoking on, but I want some. Cause the thing that got you, like whatever got you the Lulu like you are right now, I need to be on it. Because for you to say this was your best one, I like this one. This was better than WrestleMania. This PLE, this one. All right, bro. I know we on John Cena last run, but I'm like, walk me through how you think this 10 out of 10. And if it's from just it being surface, because like I think we said it on the post show. If you don't know nothing about it and you came and looked at the card just itself with no context, it's like, oh, okay, I might tune into this. But then when the product come together, it's like, what we doing? What we doing? What's happening? What's happening? Because the only spot you get with AJ Lee is Becky keeping the door closed and she got to climb up. And I was like, that's it?
Mm-hmm.
What, no team group ups, no nothing. I'm like, we're not doing team moves together. Like,
well, something that we can do together is support the Women's Wrestling Archive.
Women's wrestling didn't just show up yesterday in glitter boots. We've been here the entire time, body slamming through history.
The Women's Wrestling Archive launches January 1st, 2026, and it's going to pave the way for all women's wrestling.
Because if we don't document it, a man might say he did it first.
This has been a passion project for a very long time. Head over to the womenswrestlingarchive.com to donate 1, 5, or whatever you can. It all goes a long way.
Let's give these women the spotlight that they've always deserved.
Her story belongs in history. Help us preserve it today. Join us at womenswrestlingarchive.com. Support the archive. Support women's wrestling. Donate today.
and to Maria's point, I saw she put in the chat, they bled. It was just 2 people that bled. I was like, okay. All right. That's what we doing.
We did talk about blood and guts, but also big news for AEW. AEW Revolution is coming Sunday, March 15th back to Los Angeles, which I'm excited about. The less I have to travel for wrestling, just bring it all to LA or Vegas, very selfishly, the more I'm excited about. So
I would also like to attend. I feel like the AEW needs the PHARAOH and the councilman. So they
you mean show. Christina? They need Christina.
Nah. I'm gonna give Christina back. Which is I was gonna run that joke one more time, and I'll be back to the councilman.
Are you sure? I mean, I actually.
Well, let's you post it again, and I'm Christina. Then that's when I'll run it. Then I'll jump back to Christina. But for now.
All right. Well, you heard that, Dylan. From now on, Christina number 2.
Obviously, y'all remember I'm number 2. Oh, shout out to this doesn't have to do with the number 2, but Shout out to Claudio Castagnoli for becoming the CML World Heavyweight Champion. That was good. I'm glad to see him getting multiple titles.
Yeah,
much deserved.
That, you want to talk about the ROH Women's Pure Title semifinals, Courtney?
Yeah, I've been following a little bit, but Yuka Sakazaki advanced in there, and I haven't followed much about it, but it has been a good tournament so far. We got to see Deonna Purrazzo. We got to, my brain is like so dead right now, but many others. Also, Queen Aminata participated in it, but of course she was injured. So it's kind of furthering along. I'm not sure if they're going to have a finals for Ring of Honor Final Battle, which is this weekend, by the way, because we already know Athena will be defending her Ring of Honor Women's World Championship match against CMLL's Persephone. And we know Red Velvet has a rematch against Mercedes Moné for the Ring of Honor Women's Television Championship at Ring of Honor Final Battle. So just have to keep continuing to watch it. It's going to be very interesting leading up to it. But so far, it's been a good, solid tournament. A lot of them have stood out. Billy Starks has put on a good performance. Deonna Purrazzo has put on a solid, good performance. They've been putting on some good matches. So if you are following Ring of Honor, I follow them on socials, and they do put on good work. So kudos to all of them in this tournament for the Ring of Honor Pure Women's Championship.
Yeah. If you guys don't know or not following Persephone, definitely go and check her out. Y'all gonna be hearing about her in the next couple of years. Incredible story, incredible wrestler. Definitely check out. My question is, because I think that was the last story. My question is, we have the rematch with Mercedes and Red Velvet, and Mercedes took that L the last time. Do you think what do you think is going to happen the second time around?
Oof. Well, I know they're definitely going to put on a good match. I feel like Red Velvet is definitely somebody I would not mess with. And I think the first time they met, it was really coming to blows. Because if you saw when they first started the match, they really came to blows with each other. And that was something, as you mentioned in your interview, that Red Velvet wanted to wrestle Mercedes. And for me, this is actually going to be very interesting because I do see Mercedes keeping the Ring of Honor Women's Television Championship. Because if there was another belt, I think that would kind of be interesting to the storyline. And also the way Mercedes will have her downfall. I think you would have to go with the TBS title because that's like the nucleus of all things. Nothing against the Ring of Honor Women's title, but I just think for some reason, if you really want to take a step further, you take away the second most important belt that she has, and that is the TBS Championship.
Ooh, I don't know, man. I'm still kind of I don't think did I tell you guys? Anyways, I'm still kind of the storyline. I still, if I would have I would have wrote it a lot differently. So if she does take this L for the second time, then where is Red in the picture? Where is Red in the hierarchy of the WWE or WWE, excuse me, the AEW
Ring of Honor
universe? Like where does she now fit? Because now if she takes that L, we have the women's pure title, right? But she's not in the picture of that because they're already in the semifinals. No. So it's just kind of like, okay, and then what are they doing in that? Like, I don't know where she fits in this picture.
She can fit in the women's world title. Y'all just want to see Mercedes downfall. That's all. That's all it is.
It's not that.
Where does she fit? Like there ain't other belts she can't go for. I
agree with you.
She can't go face Athena. Like
I agree.
She should have faced her. But she should have faced her the first time. Athena.
Right. I agree with you, but Red was there before Mercedes, and you're not. I feel like you haven't utilized her. So if you weren't utilizing her then, like again, it's kind of like my thoughts on how WWE treats Naomi. Like I have PTSD, and I think Red to me is like the PTSD version for AEW. It's like you have her, and yes, you could put her in these pictures, but have you?
I mean,
So-
but she also got hurt too. So
Okay,
when they
well-
did start utilizing her, she got hurt. That ain't no fault of her own, but I'm like, let's give it a chance. We don't know all the.
Bila's
all
looking
the-
at Lena. She like agrees. Bila's like, I don't. Anyways,
I don't know, like, yo, like I again, like it's just again, like we don't know what she's learned since she's been gone. What kind of like things she's done to strengthen up her character. I'm sure, like with all that time off, you've definitely been putting in the work. So it's just like, yo, like if you don't win it there, you know, it's still up. Like Athena don't really have no real challengers, but you put somebody like Red Velvet in front of Athena, I'm like, yo, like that's somewhere like how what you just said of like y'all not doing nothing with her. Like I'm convinced of Athena getting dethroned by Red Velvet. Like that's realistic. Okay. Like that's something I'm like, oh, I can see that happening. I said, especially with what Red Velvet brings to the ring and stuff like that, and she got dope personality. I can see them putting her as the face of that. And then you go from one black women's champion to another black women's champion.
I'm for it. Yeah. I mean, I'm for it. Like I said,
just stop hating on Mercedes. Just stop hating.
I'm not hating on Mercedes. I just want everybody to. If that happens, then I'll be happy. However, if Mercedes beats her for the second time and then Red is, floating, then it's like, okay, what do we do this for? You have somebody now. Now you just add somebody else eating catering than actually doing something. So I hope, Christina, that happens.
And you know what? If she floating and they don't do nothing with her, come on home. NXT will take you. NXT will take you and do wonderful things with you, Red Velvet. You will be a North American champion in no time. All right? Mm-hmm. You won't have nothing to worry about. Stop hating on yourself. So
I'm not hating on her. I'm just saying, like,
let her have her reigns. Let her have her reigns. Y'all ain't gotta like it, but you living in it, and y'all gonna learn to love it.
I'm not hating on her. All I have to say is she's created a legacy, and she's doing amazing things, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just don't want her amazing things to stop other people from doing amazing things as well. That's
no one's taking anything away from her wrestling wise. No one's taking anything away.
What are you taking away if not wrestling? What are you taking away? Because who's doing it better right now? That's what I want to know. Who out here is sparking so much emotion from everyone right now? Look at this. Monday, December 1st. Guess what we still talking about? Mercedes Moné.
And it's not hating. There's a lot of other, and I said this before. There's a lot of other titles that she can get. There's plenty of other women's titles that she can go and get, all this other stuff. I just don't want ROH to be sacrificed. Like if they feel like because she's now the ROH Women's TV Champion, now that's going to garner people to buy the ROH thing, then great. To full disclosure, I canceled mine today because I don't have time to watch it. So like if that's gonna now garner more, if ROH now is making more money because Mercedes on there, then perfect. But if they're making the same amount, then they are less than before, then what was it for? She could have got another 13, 14 titles somewhere else and still had no red.
Because it's within the company. Because I mean, like if you look at it at grand scale now, ROH got sacrificed when fake TK got it. Like he wasn't gonna do nothing with that promotion, nor has he done anything with that promotion.
Right.
That's another reason why you get that belt. It's like, yo, like the fact that you have a talent like Red Velvet and you not utilizing her on any programming outside of that, like that's the real failure. Her not defeating Mercedes ain't the failure. Your failure is not taking this promotion and pushing it the way that it needs to be. Because the fact that ROH is not on television, like, yo, you could easily get rid of Collision and give that to give Ring of Honor Saturdays and really do something and still have AEW people go over there. But you're not. Why? Because you don't know how to run a product. You don't know how to utilize it. If I had that many people on there, like, yo, you wouldn't have to be. I would not be worried about what WWE programming is doing. I wouldn't care. I have my main thing and I have ROH. Like, all of my talent is going to be evenly spread out. And if you don't like it, pick rocks, go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I'm allowing you to go get belts everywhere else and you get to sport them here. Like, there's a lot of stuff like I would do there, but it's like you haven't paid any attention to ROH. And then that's the sad part. It's like you treat ROH like Sunday Night Heat. And that sucks for anybody that's on there, because the fact that you don't promote that you have a woman that has held a title longer than anybody has within the last 30 to 40 years in a women's division, and you're not utilizing her on a weekly basis, like the fact her and Chris Statlander are not in the same ring with each other talking about title for title. Like, that's just
Didn't even mention when she hit 1,000 days.
Nothing. Didn't promote it on AEW. Nothing. Didn't do anything. And I'm like, yo, like, so it's like, even with Red Velvet winning, what does it do if she get the title back if you're not paying attention to the promotion?
Right.
Like, I wish nothing but the best for Red Velvet, but it's like, yo, you get a belt back for a promotion that don't get shown. And that's the crappy part.
Yeah.
I don't even know who's ROH men's world champion right now. The last one I remember was Casanoli. I don't even know who's champ now.
Bandino is the reigning Ring of Honor men's champion.
And he's
been on programming.
And he's fighting for the tag titles. Like, that should explain everything about how fake TK look at ROH. Like, that's like saying, man, if I become 24/7 champion once more, I will be taken seriously and finally get my title shot. Like, no.
Well, there it is.
Did we talk about Raw?
Yes.
Okay.
We did.
You did the Raw preview?
Yes, because Dylan asked for it to be the first thing because he had to skedaddle. With that being said, I think that's, we talked about everything. So with that being said, Courtney, we'll let you get to sleep. Where can everybody find you?
Well, the people can always find me. I be chirping sporadically on WWT Live as I can. Wednesdays, you know where to find me, because we got to watch along on Wednesday because we're continuing Continental Classic action and we're continuing the road to World's End, the final pay-per-view of 2025. And yes, Bozo, we will be talking about Nigel McGuinness on Wednesday during my watch along, because he will be in a match with Lee Moriarty this Friday for Ring of Honor Final Battle. So that's going to be fun. People can find me following on @CourtneyNJ11 on all my socials. Feel free, TBD, because I'm almost done editing my interview with Gail Kim from GCW's Fan Slam. It was a really fun interview. So putting the finishing touch into works. And feel free to follow me on my content, because I got so much stuff happening. And also feel free to check out my question that I asked Chris Statlander during the media scrum during Full Gear earlier this month.
And Christina, where can everybody find you?
You don't have to find me on socials this week, but you can find me at the WWE offices in graphics and getting ready to go. Because why the fuck does Dragon Lee look like a damn psychopath in this picture? Like, what is this? Why does he look so scared? He looks like a psychopath in this picture. Like, who photoshopped this smile? That is like, who did this to him? This looked like I'm fresh out of the crazy bin. Like, I am a fifth floor member and I take happy pills. before I do anything. That's where y'all can find me. And you can always find me on the corner of every city holding up a sign saying support the Women's Wrestling Archive. If you don't like women. That's how we're approaching this now until the end of 2025. If you don't donate, you don't like women. Throwing that out there. You don't like women. If you have not donated $1, $2, $5, or $6.36, you don't like women. You don't like God's creation. The greatest gift that he gave us was women, because he snapped when he made cleavage. God snapped when he did that. But if you don't support, you don't like women. You don't like women. Hey, look, listen. That's okay to some people. Some people gonna judge you. I'm gonna judge you internally. I'm gonna look at you different. But hey, you ain't supporting. You letting us know how you feel about women.
All right. Well, there it is. Thank you for that. You guys can follow me everywhere at TK Trinidad. You can also check out my travel page, TK and Sarah Travel. I did my finally in December, my birthday recap from New Orleans. I just put that there.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, where she go to New Orleans again? Like, when did she take that random trip again? I'm like, wait.
Oh my gosh. It's so funny because I've been posting a lot of stories and stuff like that, and people now think that I travel all the time, and I don't. But you know, I'm testing out a theory, and it's actually working. Courtney. What do you saying, Lil?
Courtney, she lied. She just lied to her team. People said people think I'm always traveling because you are.
No, I'm not always. I travel like every month and a half. That's not all the time.
I want you to say that again till it sound as stupid as it sounded to me.
I travel about every month and a half. After this trip, I'm not gonna be traveling again until I'm lying. Okay. After New Year's, I will be traveling until February. What's the holidays? We're supposed to travel on the holidays.
Still, like, the people think I just be traveling. Yes, because you do. Because you fucking do. But
anywho, thank you guys for TikTok for joining me. You can follow Women's Wrestling Talk on all social media platforms at www.talkpod.com. And thank you guys so much for watching Women's Wrestling Talk. Also too, speaking of traveling, I will be out Wednesday and Friday, but I'll see you on Monday. Thank you for watching.
It can't just be me. Like, yo, what?
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WW Talk Pod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms, like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.